Vice Chairman of the Committee on the Exercise of Inalienable Rights of the Palestinian People, Mr. Douglas Broderick, UN Resident Coordinator in Indonesia, representing the UN Secretary General, Mr. Samir Bakr, Assistant Secretary General for the Palestine Affairs of the OIC, distinguished guests, resource persons, delegates, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to Jakarta and welcome to the International Conference on the Question of Jerusalem. Let me thank the committee and the OIC in making possible the convening of this international conference and the Civil Society Forum on the Question of Palestine. My gratitude and appreciation also goes to resource persons, some of whom have traveled a long way to be with us today. We look forward to hearing your thought and expertise on the issue of Palestine, in particular, the question of Jerusalem, the Holy Land. Ladies and gentlemen, on our part, the sport of struggle of all people under foreign occupation and alien domination, including Palestine in principle, is a mandate called by our Constitution. Our acceptance to host this important conference reflects Indonesia's reliable and unwavering support for the legitimate struggle of the Palestinian people to exercise their right. The convening of this conference on Jerusalem in Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia, is not by coincidence. It is also appropriate and timely, as Jakarta is a sister city of East Jerusalem. In April this year, here in Jakarta, Indonesia also hosted the 60th commemoration of Asian African Conference, which issued declaration on Palestine. The document paid tribute to the resiliency of the Palestinian people in facing the continued hardship in their struggle toward establishing a sovereign and independent state of Palestine. In addition to our unconditional political support, Indonesia has also continuously rendered its assistance to build the capacity of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Under the new Asian-African Strategic Partnership for Palestinian Capacity Building Program 2008-2013, Indonesia initiated 128 programs and training 1,338 Palestinians. This partnership has now been extended for the period of 2014-2019. Last year, Indonesia hosted the second conference on cooperation among East Asian countries for Palestinian development. During the conference, countries in the region underlined their firm commitment to support the capacity building of Palestinian people with a view to preparing them for the eventual state. Sorry for this technical problem. I continue my remarks. Next year, we plan to provide further the capacity building program, especially for Palestinian police and civil servants. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, at the multilateral forum, Indonesia was amongst the first to convey its full support to historic UN General Assembly Resolution 6719 adopted in November 29, 2012, in which the United Nations recognized Palestine as a non-member observer state. Indonesia also co-sponsored the UN General Assembly resolution for raising the flag of Palestine as a non-member observer state at the UN headquarters. The monumental hoisting the Palestinian flag on the 30th September 2015 that I personally attended was not only symbolic, but also a significant step toward Palestine full membership to the UN. It is a universal recognition to the legitimacy of the national aspiration of the Palestine people. Despite all efforts and progress made, regrettably, dignity and peace for Palestine people remain far in the horizon. Peace prospects have come and gone. Despite the best intention and of serious effort by the international community, Israel has shown no true commitment to peace and to end its illegal occupation to the Palestinian territory. On the contrary, Israel has continued to impose a reign of terror throughout the occupied Palestinian territory, unimpeded, unrestricted, and with impunity. Israel, the occupying power, continues to violate international law and international human rights law. This cannot and must not continue. The prolonged Israeli occupation does not only threaten international legal order, it also exacerbates tension on the ground, thereby contributes to further instability in the region. Israel's continuing illegal practices are concentrated in and around the occupied East Jerusalem, including the settlement construction and building the separation wall, ignoring both the condemnation of the international community and the call of the International Court of Justice. Therefore, Indonesia again calls the UN Security Council to honor its charter responsibilities and act as a matter of urgency to ensure Israel compliance with the international law. But more work must indeed to be done by all of us to break the political impasse inside and outside the United Nations. Indonesia hopes that this conference can provide an important impetus toward bringing the issue of Palestine back into the radar of the international community. In this regard, I'm pleased that at this conference, you will be focusing on the situation in Jerusalem as one of the core issues, as well as projecting on its future. Indonesia's position on East Jerusalem is firm and will not ever change. East Jerusalem is envisioned as the capital of the state of Palestine. Therefore, the UN Security Council resolution underlining the status quo of the historic city, pending the attainment of a final solution to the question of Palestine, must be honored. The issue of East Jerusalem is delicate and sensitive, but is of a strategic importance, not only for Palestine and Israel, but also for all Muslim, Christian, Jews alike, due to the fact that Jerusalem is the holy city to all of them. I therefore encourage all of you in your deliberation and discussion to come up with a formula for workable political and social solution to the issue of Jerusalem. One of the areas to be examined is how people-to-people relation between Israelis and Palestinians might be strengthened. Perhaps in such a scenario, we could figure out and nurture common grounds on how to realize peaceful coexistence amongst the people from different religions and backgrounds living in the holy city of Jerusalem. I believe that the spirit of coexistence is necessary as a foundation for a meaningful peace process. Let me conclude by once again welcoming you to Jakarta and to this conference and wishing you all a very fruitful deliberation. And my apology that right after my remarks I have to leave the meeting room because I have to meet the President now. And once again, I thank you very much for your coming and your contribution to this meeting. I thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.